Thanks for joining us today on Playing the Field. I'm Maria Serrao. We are here today in beautiful, sunny San Diego, California for the Major League Baseball Winter Meetings. Now, this is really an opportunity in the off season for managers and general managers to get together and kind of talk about the needs that their teams have. And of course, we're also hoping for some big free agent signings. We heard from Scott Boras yesterday, and he confirmed that his client, Steven Strasburg, will be staying with the Nationals. So we're waiting to hear more today. And yesterday, we had an opportunity to sit down with New Angel manager Joe Maddon, and here's what he had to say about putting together his team.
I'm with Billy a lot. I've been with Billy a lot this offseason. My frequent flyer miles are up. I've been from Pennsylvania and Florida to Orange County and back. We've talked often. He's got a great strategy. He knows exactly what he wants to do. But then again, I've said it in the past, it takes two to dance, to tango. Or in the free agent market, you're up against different. You can even be up against geography sometimes. You just don't know how this is all going to play out. So we have a plan. He's working the plan right now. Yes, we do need more pitching. There's no question. I'll be the first one to tell you that. For us to compete on the level that we want to this year, we have to get more innings out of our starting rotation, and you definitely have to augment the bullpen a bit, although there's some really good arms out there. I'm a big believer in the pitching and defense side of this game. So we have a nice group of players, there's no doubt. And there are some really nice pitchers, but we need more. You just need more of them.
Joe, what's your feeling about Ohtani hitting and pitching?
Love it. Love it. Do it in the National League all the time. I mean, that's the thing you have to overcome. Just because it doesn't happen all the time, it doesn't mean it can't happen. And don't treat your guys like China dolls. They're not. He's gone through some tough moments. He's gone through his rehab. Now it's time to be a baseball player. I really, sometimes we do go overboard, I think, with the protection of athletes and players and pitchers. This guy's special. Of course he needs to hit. He's that good. I think you need to auger out as often as you can, get him to hit while you're not interfering with his arm recovery time. That's the key to figure out as far as I see it. So this is something I wanted to do in the minor leagues years ago. I mean, I think it should be done in the minor leagues more often. So these are the kind of things that I think need to be explored more often. The kid Lorenzen with the Reds, outstanding. Great idea with them. He's a Fullerton guy too. There's more of that out there. If organizations would permit it. The other thing I'm into winter ball. I think winter ball should create a comeback. If you want to see a better game, a more complete game, let the guys go play winter ball. I would love to see like each organization get 5 or 6 guys every winter that they like and send them to the Dominican or reinvent the league in Puerto Rico or Mexico. I know Venezuela is tough right now, but if you want to see an uptick, have guys play baseball and compete. Working out in a gym in front of a camera all the time is not necessarily going to teach you how to compete. If you want a good bullpen, you need to have a good starting rotation. Good starting rotation that chews up innings. Normally, you can create a good bullpen out of that. When you don't have starting pitching that chews up innings, it's difficult to have a good bullpen. It just is. So for me, perfect world. I like 5, maybe 6 guys chewing up 1,000 innings. That's what you like to see out of your starters. That is the bedrock of the team for me, is good starting pitching. When you have that, you have a chance to be in every game. When you have that, you have a chance to sustain winning streaks. And when you have that, you have a chance to sustain morale. Morale takes a beating when pitching fails and fails late in games. So you need all of that to build what you're looking for to get where you want to be.
And we'll have much more coming up from the winter meetings in just a little bit. But right now we're going to switch gears and talk about our Los Angeles Rams, who right now are kind of on the outside looking in, but they've got 3 more really important games. Now, they had 4. The first one was against Seattle. They took a commanding lead and really took control of that game. So 1 down, now 3 to go. They've got the Cowboys, the 49ers, and the Cardinals. They pretty much need to win out. They're on the outside looking in as far as the playoffs go, but anything can happen. So here is more from the team and head coach, Sean McVay.
Every game is big. We know that. But other than that, we're just playing our game, being ourselves. You see, just picking back up and playing complete football, offense, defense, and special teams. Um, if you call that, playoff caliber football, you could call it that. But other than that, we're just playing Rams football, playing complete offense, defense, and special teams.
Aaron, how are you able to hold them to 7 points all night?
We just played good as a defense. Everybody flying around and, play solid football. We gave up some plays, but at the end, I feel like we played strong.
How was it to see Todd Gurley back out there running?
Oh, good. He made some big runs for us today. A lot of things go through that running game, so to get that back going again, it's going to help us a lot.
It's a touchdown. Jared did a good job getting us into the play we wanted to be in. Just a little high-low on the hook player, and we're able to get the backer to jump up, take the cheese, and Jared did a great job firing a low ball front front goal line. So really just a well-executed play from an offensive standpoint. And on the near pass play, didn't get exactly the look we wanted. I got to do a better job getting to my second read and planting my feet in the ground. I had a little imbalance there, a little too Aaron Rodgers-y, I think, and it's just not my game. So I got to plant up, keep my feet set, be able to drive the ball in there before that backside safety comes over. So, something I'll, make sure I'm working on that this week, and, we'll get that fixed.
Just really collapse the pocket around him. I think that's the best way to rush him. Just been over the 8 years I've been here. I've seen him, wreck games where we try to rush our own way, and he gets out. And we just decided to rush together today. Crush the pocket, don't let him escape out of there, and, we'll get to him.
You knocked him off his game early?
I think, when the offense is playing good, they Seahawks were behind, so they had to stop running the ball. They had to throw a little bit more. So for that team, it starts with the run. So, yeah, I think their offense was a little off rhythm.
Now, we all know that the Rams do such great charity work off the field, including their partnership with the Tragedy Assistant Program for Survivors. Now, this is also known as TAPS. It honors the fallen servicemen and women from the Los Angeles region who died while serving in the armed forces and injuries sustained from the 9/11 era. Now, the team hosted 25 of the fallen families, and here's what they had to say at this very special event.
TAP stands for Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors. In 1994, we were founded to provide hope and healing to all those grieving the loss of someone from military service. At TAPS, we honor all manners of death and all relationships to the hero. So even the battle buddy, the friend, the significant other, the cousin, the mom, the dad, the uncle, the wife, anybody grieving the loss of someone who's served this country can come to TAPS to receive support and hope and healing. We are a Salute to Service partner and have been now since 2017. We've been very fortunate to have that relationship because it's opened doors across the country with many teams, including the LA Rams here, to honor hundreds of families and fallen heroes on some of the biggest, football cathedrals there are out there. And it helps us connect families with something that meant a lot to their hero and to bring moments of joy to them and honor for their loved ones. For somebody of the caliber of a professional athlete to take the time to get to know the loved one's story and then to spend time out here today talking about their loved one and even just autographing the helmet with their loved one's initial on it, and these families to know that when they play their big game tomorrow, their hero is going to be on the mind and the helmet of that player. It really does a lot. The families, their biggest fear is that their loved one will be forgotten. So when a professional athlete can honor their hero in a major stadium, they know that many people will learn about their hero that way and carry them on their hearts forward, and that their legacy lives on.
It's amazing, growing up in the military with military family, you grow up with an appreciation for, the circumstances and being around people who have been in similar circumstances and understanding what they go through and trying to hang out and make this a bright spot on their day, helps a lot, and helps try to bring good memories and some giving back to people. Oh, it makes me feel awesome. Like I said, I love doing stuff like this, hanging out with these folks and listening to their stories and listening about their loved ones and who they are and what they did, and just appreciating their service and appreciating their sacrifice. Always kind of talking about normal stuff. They're asking about how, stuff works for us in our days, and just kind of asking about football questions and, just kind of talking and just shooting around and having normal conversations.
Our family's been with TAPS now since September of 2017 when our oldest son, HM3, Jonathan Zuniga, passed away. TAPS has been a good program We've utilized it for, well, my wife will probably explain a little more about the program. She's been to most of them. But go ahead and tell what you've done.
I've been to a Mother's Retreat and also to a Women's Empowerment in Sedona just recently, and then my son has been to a Good Grief camp. So they're a great support system, and you get to meet other families that are going through the same grief as you.
The biggest thing is I grew up as a Rams fan. My son that was killed was a big Rams fan. His goal was to attend every Rams game he could, even though he was in the military. And he was a Ram himself, basically. And to get support from the Rams, to be able to come out here and spend some time with them and get to meet them is very meaningful to us. I mean, trying not to get emotional here, but very meaningful. I know my son's probably looking down on us going like, hey, it's not fair, I should be here. Because he would love to be here today with us. That's very special that, they gave us the jerseys and my son's name's on it. That means a lot. It means a lot to us.
And it's that time of year when everybody likes to give back, including our Los Angeles Rams, who participate in an annual initiative held by the NFL called My Cause My Cleats. Now, I caught up with two of the Rams, Troy Reeder and Austin Blythe, who told me two of their very special stories. Let's take a listen.
Troy, you're with the Be Positive Foundation. That's what your cleats will say. Tell us a little bit about it and how you got involved.
So actually, the organization is a family that's very close to my community, the McDonoughs. They lost their son Andrew in 2007 when I was in middle school, and I ended up going to the same high school that Andrew was at when he passed away, and I got involved through our programs at high school, and then at University of Delaware I was involved again. And, just some of the people I've come across and built relationships through that organization, they've given me so much more than I've been able to give them. And, I hope that just this little, wearing it out there on Sunday Night Football can, give at least something back to those guys. I think this is something really, really cool that the NFL allows us to do that, kind of reminds you that the game is so much bigger than yourself. And, it's just cool to be able to go out there and play with. I got a bunch of kids' names on my cleats, and some of them I'm close with. Some of them I don't know, but they worked through the program that I've seen them around. And, just having those guys in mind, I think, helps bring out the best in you and hopefully spread some good feelings and about the organization too.
All right, so you said there's kids' names on the shoes. Yeah, show them to us. And then also, did you have any input into designing?
Yes, I did. So I knew what colors I wanted to do. The Be Positive organization actually designed these laces for me with the Be Positive logo on there. The hashtag Andrews Athletes is what the University of Delaware uses through their sports programs. And then these are what we call our Be Positive heroes for all the sports teams. So Danny Feltwell was the football teams, who I've gotten to be pretty close with, Emily, and then all the rest being on there. It's pretty special, and I hope all of them have been able to see the cleats and check it out Sunday night. I hope it's cool for them to see their names on some cleats running around out there.
Do you have any idea of what you'll do with them afterward?
So I started a Pledge It page, and I've dedicated the rest of my season to this organization. And I'm hoping to collect money per tackle that I make for the remainder of the season. And then if you donate $25 per tackle or more, you'll be entered in to win the cleats afterwards. So.
Just tell us about Tater Tuff, since you'll be wearing those on your cleats on Sunday.
Yeah, it was a foundation team that was kind of founded for Tate Schaefer. He's a 12-year-old boy from Williamsburg who's going through a fight with cancer right now. it's just a special cause to me personally. My wife, grew up babysitting him since he was born. And then when I started dating Kylie, I got involved. He was a big fan as I was going through the University of Iowa, and he just kind of stayed my buddy throughout the NFL. So just being able to represent him and help him while he's going through this fight is special.
It means so much, especially when you get to see people that are going through something like that, and then they get sort of like that break because they get to hang out with you guys or just have that relationship. Just kind of address that.
That's what we've been trying to do since he was diagnosed, is just kind of try and provide those memories and those experiences for him and his family to try and take his mind off of what he's dealing with physically and emotionally. And him and his family are just a good example of what perseverance and faith looks like, knowing that God has a plan and he's going to see them through this. And it's just it's a special thing to be able to try and do that.
Have you seen the cleats yet?
Yeah, they were pretty special. I took a picture of them and sent them to Tate, and I was able to FaceTime him while he was looking at that picture, and just the look on his face and the smile on his face just kind of validated, justified my choice to put him on my cleats.
And what will you do with the cleats when you're done?
I'm going to give them to him. I asked if he wanted them, and he didn't hesitate saying yes. So, again, it's just being able to try and help him through this and take his mind off of it the best I can with, playing a game. So it's just special to be able to do that for him.
And in our Spotlight segment today, we go beyond the 53-man roster and introduce you to the 10 men who represent the practice squad. We start our story today with Rams coach Joe Barry.
Coach, we're talking about the players on the practice squad. I don't think a lot of people understand sort of how that works, the progression of these guys, because they start off in training camp just like everybody else. Give us a little bit of an overview on the importance of those guys.
Well, the whole thing is that we go to training camp. We start our off season in May with 90 players, and then obviously we cut the roster down to 53. But then after we cut the roster down to 53, we're able to bring back 10 players. So we have 10 players on the practice squad. And I mean, we could sit here for an hour and I could tell you countless stories of guys that were practice squad players that went on to having, great careers, Pro Bowl careers. Right. So the practice squad is kind of, it's a developmental squad. We don't have like, Major League Baseball has, like AAA and AA, which are their farm systems. The practice squad for us is kind of like that for young players that, as an organization we really like, but gosh, we just don't, they couldn't make the 53-man roster for whatever reason, right? We needed to absolutely keep this guy for whatever reason, but gosh, we really like this kid. Well, hey, let's get him to the practice squad. So, and then they're able to obviously, they do everything that we do during the week, except they can't dress for games and they don't play. It's kind of like in college when a kid's redshirted, right. It's very similar to that. But, and the thing that I know individually as a coach that I always preach to my guys on the practice squad, you have no idea at what moment that we're going to sustain an injury, and you might be on practice squad on Friday today, and next Wednesday for whatever reason, bam, you're active. You better be paying attention to the weekly game plans. You better be paying attention to the system of offense or defense or with Coach Bones on special teams, because when you get your opportunity to be on the active roster, you better take advantage of it.
Next man up.
Exactly right.
When you look at the talent, is it just so small comparatively with these guys? They're really ready, aren't they?
Oh, sure. Now some guys simply, it goes both ways. Yeah. Some guys, whether it be physical limitations where they're not quite ready yet, or mental, they're just not, maybe they came from a really, really small college, and they're talented. Physically they're ready, but they're just not ready for the mental speed of the NFL football game. That's where you put those guys on practice squad and you develop them, and then they're able to get another off season the next year. They're able to get another training camp, and then hopefully by the time you cut the roster down, then they can make the team.
How much better as far as like a year's growth do you see in some of these guys?
Oh, it's huge. The difference between a year one player to a year two. Even, I use Samson for example because we've had him here the whole time. Samson's in his third year and he's still growing, he's still learning. But where Samson is in year three compared to where he was year one, it's light years. So now some guys, for example, like Troy Reeder, for example, kid that we signed as an undrafted player. Really, with guys like that, keeping it real, do they have an opportunity, a realistic opportunity to make the 53-man roster when you're an undrafted guy?
Right.
Not really. But that guy showed something. He was very mature for his age. He was kind of like a 10-year veteran as a rookie, just the way he handled himself. In the meetings, he was very detailed, very serious, makes our 53-man roster. And then again, like Micah gets hurt in training camp, Bryce Hager gets hurt in the Tampa game, and now, Troy Reeder, a guy that we maybe thought as an undrafted guy that, hey, let's put him on practice squad for a year, see if he develops. Now he's our starting middle linebacker. So there's all different kinds of scenarios and stories, but the practice squad, if you use it right as an organization, it's a great tool for development.
We are here with Dakota Alan, and you have had a wild ride. We're doing a story on practice squad players. Your story is amazing. You fought to get to the NFL. You're here. And you started with the Rams, you were picked up by the Raiders, you're back with the Rams. This is determination at its highest point, Dakota. Just give the audience a little bit of a story on your journey.
Like you said, I was drafted here. Went through some trials and tribulations while I was here. Ended up being on the practice squad. And then was fortunate enough to get picked up by a great organization, the Oakland Raiders, and I went there, competed my butt off every day, and just didn't quite work out there. So I'm thankful to be here, back in LA, another great opportunity, and yeah.
It's got to be nice, obviously, knowing a team wants you back, because I just talked to Coach Barry, and he was saying how important it is that they develop the guys like yourself because they see something.
Oh, well, no, that's good. That's good to know. Yeah, so ever since I've been here, Coach Barry, Coach Wade, they've been coaching me up with everything. Not only them, but the veteran guys as well. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be back in this organization.
For people that don't know, tell us what a day is like for a practice squad player.
It's a day of work. You come in early. You do everything that the roster guys do. Just come to work every day and try to get better.
Again, this has been a huge jump, but what do you think you've learned over the last couple of months that's different before you got here?
I think the main thing I learned is that football is definitely more business. I remember they always told me that growing up, like, it's a business, but you really just don't see it until you get in the business. So I'm here for the long run.
Well, you have a little bit of a skill too, because there's very few guys that can do what you do.
I appreciate it.
All right, and then finally, how do you keep yourself up mentally?
That's a great question. Some days I still struggle. I think the thing that ultimately does it is the connection with my teammates and the connection just with everybody in this organization, such as D-Love. Me and him have a great connection. We talk every day. Coach Bones. I just feel like, having those relationships is what keeps me going every day.
Yeah, it's very similar to the rest of the guys. So in terms of meetings, etc., I'll be with the quarterbacks. I'll be going through the game plan, and then I should try and prep like I'm going to play, even though that is not a possibility until I'm active. So that is the day in the life for a quarterback in the practice squad. I'm prepping with Jared and with Blake for the game, going through the game plan, etc. And then sometimes the defensive guy will come in and grab you and say, hey, like, we want you to do this with the cadence this week, or he does this on certain plays. But it's not like you're sitting down for an extensive meeting to go through exactly what they do. So you're pretty much with the guys the entire time. You go out to practice, and then obviously when we practice, we're split up. So there's a scout team or a practice squad team going against the starting defense, and that's
where I'm activated, so to speak. So that's when I will run what they run, and they'll have cards drawn up for plays that they've run in the past or how they think they're going to attack our defense.
It's interesting because when you start the season in the preseason, you get a lot of playing time. Obviously, everything is kind of at an accelerated pace. What do you learn the most from those preseason games?
Obviously, there's no replacement for live reps, right? So in practice, it's great. I'm going against the first team defense, which is awesome to see the speed and how they move around. But when you're playing live, when the hits are real and when the defensive line is rushing for real, those reps are so valuable. So you don't get that during the season if you're on the practice squad. So looking forward for the next shot I have to prove myself in that scenario. But in the meantime, I'm happy taking the reps that I get when I get them.
Growth is so fast. What do you feel like you've learned the most in the first half of the season?
Obviously, one thing is you continue to get familiar with the playbook, and as I've progressed, I feel more and more comfortable. But that's always a process. And then you're understanding defense. You're constantly learning. So all those things are pluses that I've had throughout the 9 weeks so far, and hope to continue to learn. So that's where I would say, just continuing to be familiar with the playbook, how plays are called. And continuing to learn and grow as a player is always valuable.
Dante, your first game playing here in the NFL. Give us your assessment. What was it like?
It was electric. It was electric. Guys was flying around. I got to get out there and fly around with them, and there's just nothing better than going out there playing with some hungry, excited dudes out there ready to ball. So it was just exciting for me.
How do you sort of contain yourself and slow the game down a little bit?
So my breathing techniques, look, our strength staff shows, belly breathing, chest breathing. So I gotta calm down, can't peak too soon. But yeah, there is no controlling it when I get out there.
We are back here at the winter meetings, and we need to take a moment to congratulate our own MVPs, Mike Trout and Cody Bellinger, taking the awards for 2019. Congrats, guys. We'll look forward to many more awards in 2020. And for all you hardcore baseball junkies, I have some breaking news for you. Spring training will be here in less than 60 days. And that will do it for today's show. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Maria Serrao from sunny San Diego, California, and we'll see you next time.